Let's talk a little bit about where you might find a combined cycle power plant. Does the city of San Antonio, CPS Energy, does it own any of these? First of all, I found this interesting fact a long time ago, but it was only in 1942 that they actually purchased a local utility and then renamed it, called it City Public Service. Probably a really smart move, guaranteed smart move back in 1942. Because right now, CPS Energy funds a lot of the city budget, a lot. And so I mentioned it is the largest municipally owned electric and gas utility company in the nation. That's very distinctive. They have some of the lowest rates throughout. But when you have hydroelectric that's funded by the federal government who made dams, you can't beat with that. I mean, that's just cheap energy. So Tennessee and Washington State have really low electric utilities. But if you live in Hawaii, guess what? There's just not a lot of oil or natural gas wells in Hawaii, and so it's very expensive. So that price of electricity does vary significantly throughout the United States. Houston is a lot higher, and certain other places are higher. California is higher. Okay, and it has a good mix of fuel. 47% by this article was coal. 32 is nuclear. Where do we get the nuclear from? 32% of this electricity being used on an annual basis in this room is produced by nuclear. That's a lot, isn't it? In the homes that you own and run, or apartments that you use. It comes from the South Texas project down by Bay City. And a number of graduates from UTSA mechanical and electrical engineering are working down there at those plants, helping continue to run those big power plants. 12% gas and 9% renewable. And they have a goal of having more and more changing over. About 10 years ago, they built the first combined cycle plant in CPS did. The lead engineer for it was a UTSA grad for that project. Also, they've continued to expand, and in 2012, April, they finished buying out a power plant in Seguin. And this power plant is a 800 megawatt combined cycle natural gas. So they're burning natural gas as a primary fuel, but they also have a vapor power part to make more electricity, squeeze more of that energy and convert it into electricity. So this is fairly recent. Looks like they picked up all the plant employees, which I'm sure they were happy for. That plant's been out there since about the 1980s. Where is it located? Well, here's I-10. And you're going around the city of Seguin, you cross over the Guadalupe River. If this gives you any landmarks going toward Houston, this is toward Houston, true. This is toward San Antonio. There's a metal recycling plant that does, that they changed the name a couple times, but a lot of UTSA grads work there too. Scrap metal is turned into rebar. It's CMC, yeah. And so if you're from that area and you want to get a great job, check it out. Also, Caterpillar has a big plant now in Seguin. Alamo Industries has a big plant. I've known students work there. Motorola has a big plant. A number of graduates have and are working out there. So there's a lot going on in Seguin. Anyway, is you drive a few miles past after you cross the river, and you'll see it. It's plain as day sitting right there. So that's what they purchased. Anybody remember seeing it? Couple? Good. And a number of UTSA grads have gone and worked in different locations, and I suspect some of those employees could be, that I just don't know them, but they could be graduates, because engineers do work in plants like that to keep them running. Also, I remind you that the integrated gasification combined cycle power plant CPS bought into, and it's a 400 megawatt cycle plant, and CPS Energy is committed to purchasing 200 megawatts of that. How big was this one out in Seguin? 800 megawatts. So it's pretty big.